What up? What up? What up? It's Pope the Blueprint, the host of the number one networking show. And the first thing I like to do before every show, I like to support local brands. And tonight I'm wearing XI11. So I encourage you to support your local brands. And this XI11 brand will be listed below in the description. So we have a special guest tonight. It's like family to the Winner's Circle. And so we did a show probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago. And the energy was great. The subject matter was great. And so we decided, let's do something monthly, right? Let's take the information of health and wellness, what you're already doing, and let's bring that same energy, the same knowledge to the Winner's Circle monthly. So that's what we're going to collaborate and do. Each month, we'll talk about a particular topic, and we'll open up questions. We'll allow people to send in questions. And so the thought process behind this is just to give people as much information as possible, because a lot of times we work so hard financially. We're learning things about stocks and real estate, but we also need to take the time and learn about this brilliant body. So let's bring our guest in to get this great information. There we go. It's coming on in. There we go.
Hey,
How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what? I'm always excited to speak with you, um, because you're so knowledgeable,
Thanks.
and not only knowledgeable, right? You're very passionate behind what you do.
Yes, yes, I
And
care.
so when we were talking and I said, hey, let's do something monthly, right? Because I want to bring the listeners information that you have on a consistent basis, because it's a lot of things that we can prevent.
Yes,
And we're building businesses, we're building empires, but a lot of times we could do it better if we felt better.
yes, absolutely.
And
Yes,
so we're going to talk about detoxing tonight. I'm going to open it up to you, but I just felt it's important that the people know that the person delivering the information is knowledgeable, and not only knowledgeable, but willing to go the extra mile to make sure that you understand what you're hearing.
yes, yes.
And so I'm going to open it up to you. I know you've been on the show before, but just introduce yourself. And, we're going to get in this thing called detoxing.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Pope. I appreciate you having me on here. I'm so excited about this. I'm so glad we're doing this. I'm super excited to share with the people. My name is Tynesia Evans. I own One Brilliant Body Functional Nutrition and Wellness, where I teach you how to utilize the symptoms of your body to help you actually heal the root causes of whatever disease, disorder, symptom, whatever it is that's going on with your body. A lot of us don't know that most diseases, most of the things that we are afflicted with are 100% preventable. And so many of us, in particular as Black people, are dying of 100% preventable diseases. We're not given an option to actually heal it. We're not given the opportunity to heal it. We're not given the resources to actually heal it. A lot of our ancestors, a lot of our parents and grandparents, they were afraid of hospitals, and for good reason. So most of them either tried to stay away from it, which isn't such a good thing either, because we still ate foods that weren't good for our body. So staying away and then not eating right, that's already going to cause you problems. But
Yeah.
actually being active in your health and wellness is going to give you so much power over your body, so much control, and allow you the opportunity, which is important to me, to deliver your purpose. I feel like so many of us are dying and we're not having the opportunity to even understand why we were put on this earth, because we're so distracted by all of these processed foods, things that we think can take us out of here for a moment or make us feel good for a moment, and we're killing ourselves.
Right.
And I know for sure, if you knew that there was a way that you could heal your body, or if you knew that there was a way that you can maximize your time here on earth, I know that we would all take it, and are given our right minds, given our right circumstances. I absolutely know that. So I want to be able to provide that as an option. I went to the doctor many times when I was younger, and they couldn't give me an answer. And that created a distrust because I didn't feel like they were on my side. It felt like they were doing a job, and I didn't like that. So I initially thought I wanted to be a doctor to try to change that, but it's not even about that, because I wouldn't even as a doctor have enough time to talk to you and understand what's going on, because it would be a job. So I really had to take some time to heal my body. I was my first patient. And I wanted to understand what it felt like to detox, what was going to go on. I don't want anyone to ever trust someone that's just saying, and this is for me, detox is a pet peeve of mine, because we have so many celebrities and multi-level marketing and things like that. You will damage your body. I'm telling you that. I have a master's degree in epidemiology and public health. I'm not boasting anything, but I studied this stuff on purpose to heal myself so that I can help my people heal themselves as well. So I understand how disease is created at a molecular and cellular level. And then I studied functional nutrition and holistic wellness so I can teach you how to undo a disease, how to prevent a disease, how to give your body what it needs in order to make the antibodies to kill disease in your body. So if somebody can't explain to you the basics of your body, the basics of digestion, there's no reason that they should be selling you something called a detox, which actually can damage your body. So I really wanted to get on here. I'm glad that we're doing detoxes first. I'm actually doing a detox right now. So I really want people to understand and feel empowered to take care of our bodies. You don't have to feel like you don't know enough. You can get the information, and you can get relevant information. And if you find the right resources, hopefully you're looking for them. I can be a good resource. Hopefully you can absolutely transform your body into what it is that you desire it to be. It's not always about just physically looking good, because the truth of the matter is a detox. Weight loss is a side effect of detox. It should never be the goal of a detox. That's how you know for sure. So if someone's offering you a detox to lose weight, it's not a detox. You're probably going to cause yourself some type of malnourishment, which is going to cause you to lose weight as a result of malnourishment, but not as a result of actually detoxifying your cells, recreating new cells, and building your body back up stronger. And I think that that's one of the dangerous fallacies that I'm seeing now, one of the dangerous trends that I'm seeing with a lot of detoxes right now. I sent you those 3 pages, and it boils my blood, because in a few years, many of the people that have taken on these little challenges, they could be in colostomy bags, because their intestines no longer work the way they're supposed to. So you thinking you were, you did it, you lost all this weight, you were fine, you healed all your issues, when you're actually damaging your internal organs. And digestion is the only way that we're able to assimilate nutrients from our food into our body. There's no other way to do that. So I know that, some people think like IV, those IV infusions are cool. They can help, but it's a temporary fix. You're still bypassing your digestive tract. So it can actually be dangerous for you. And nobody can do that long term. So I really feel that people need the information in order to make the better decisions, but they don't know where to look. And then when somebody says, hey, you can detoxify your body, it perks your ears up. Oh my gosh, you're right, I have toxins. That person must know they have, take this in the morning, take that in the afternoon, and drink 6 of those. Okay, that sounds easy. But what is actually in that? It's still a process, a highly processed product. And can this person explain to me what's happening on a cellular level? The answer is usually no. They're not a medical professional. And they're going to help you to destroy your body while their bank account gets big, but there's no liability, there's no accountability, and there's no responsibility for them, because it was a business. So I really want you to take your body more seriously and truly understand, like I always say, your body is brilliant. Even if you're not going to do the research, I want you to at least do the research and find what is the best possible option I could do for myself in this opportunity. So let's go with for me, for instance, the first time I decided to do a detox, I was still a student. So I was kind of learning about it, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm looking for. I understand how disease is created, so let me go with the words that I know I'm looking for in a detox. So I want cellular rejuvenation. I want to cleanse my cells. I don't want to restrict my dietary needs. And it has to be a minimum of 28 days. So I want you guys to remember that. It has to be cellular rejuvenation. You don't want to reduce any of your nutritional density. You don't want any processed food. And it has to be a minimum of 28 to 30 days. That needs to be the minimum. And it doesn't need to be any long-term effects. So that's what I started looking for. There was only one at the time that I found, one, and it was still highly processed. So I went ahead and went with it because I didn't know very much about it. Even though it was highly processed, there was still a lot of nutritional density in it. So I went ahead and utilized it. It worked great. It healed some things that were going on in my body. It didn't heal. It addressed some things that I had going on in my body, which was better for me. So yes, my skin cleared up a little bit. My hair grew a little bit better. My nails grew a little bit better. So I understood, as a scientist, okay, this reduced some toxicity in my body, but it didn't necessarily wipe out any toxins. But that's okay, because those are two different things, right? So as I knew better, I did better. So that was like baseline detoxing. Okay, I felt a little bit better. I could see my skin change a little bit better. I didn't eat, all these processed foods, even though the detox itself was processed. So then I started learning a little bit more. Now a couple of years have passed. Okay, let me detoxify my body, but now I understand I need raw nutrition. I need whole nutrition. I need foods that are actually going to get into this body, assimilate into nutrients, and then help to kill any bad bacteria in my body, on top of creating new cells and recreating cells in my body. So that's the cellular regeneration. I need that in order to build up a new body basically from scratch. So what happens when we have highly toxic bodies? Our cells, our cells are constantly reduplicating themselves. But if our cells begin to get sick, they're going to reduplicate more sick cells. That's just how it works. So if I'm if I'm supporting my body in reduplicating cells that are sick, basically, by not changing my lifestyle, by not changing my diet, by just using something that's going to make me poop more, by taking a highly processed product or a liquid vitamin that I don't know where it came from. And there's another fact there. Vitamins are not regulated by our government. So I can make a vitamin in my kitchen. I have integrity. So I'll make something that will actually help you. But think about somebody who's just trying to ball. They're just trying to get some money, which is fine. That's their hustle. I don't want you guys to be mad at people who build these businesses, because I want you to understand their goal. Their goal is to build business. So if that aligns with your core values and you're cool with that, do what you got to do. But your alignment, your core values should be to protect your body, nourish it, heal it, build it up so that you can deliver your purpose. So you need to find professional environments, especially if it's something you're going to be taking into your body, to help you with those goals. So you need to find someone, read the label, ask them what it does. What exactly is this going to do for my body? What exactly is cellular rejuvenation? If they can't explain those things to you, why do I need this liquid vitamin? How come I need a laxative if you're telling me I'm reducing toxins in my body? Why can't I just poop on my own? So these are the questions that we need to be asking, because I'm finding that a lot of people are gravitating towards these. In those particular businesses I showed you, they had over 200,000 people following and probably purchasing, which is great. No more power to them. But when there's somebody who's sick in the hospital and maybe their parents or family are looking through, well, what was the last thing she took? And they see all these receipts for so-and-so's cleanse or detox, and then they go and try to sue. The first thing I would say is, I'm not liable. I'm not a medical professional, right? While they're sitting in their Rolls Royce, and your relative just died, or your relative just had to have portion of their colostomy bag added, or they had to have their intestines pulled out or something like that. So I want you to understand, you do not need anything that comes in a bag to detoxify your body. You don't. Your body is self-cleaning and self-healing. It was made to detoxify. Now, modern day society has dictated that we live in a toxic environment. We just do. The air in our houses, in our rooms, in our bedrooms, in our furniture is more toxic often than the air we have outside. And now we're in an actual pandemic, right? So the air outside is toxic, the air inside is toxic. We're told to stay inside. We're going outside with masks on. So we are at the highest level um, of vulnerability. We can get really sick right now, not even with coronavirus. It's not even about that anymore. We're highly susceptible to many pathogens right now because our ability to break down toxins has been severely diminished by a stress, by the environment that we're in, and then also by our internal thoughts and what's going on with this, the foods that we're eating, the foods that have not been available to us this whole summer, us not being able to get out and do the things we normally would. And then also we're not being exposed to a lot of the pathogens that we normally would and be able to fight off at this time. So there's so many things that are going on. And I feel like a lot of people are getting lost in the shuffle. You know, we all probably gained a little bit of weight. It's just weight. It's just letting you know that you're not as active as you are. So instead of getting more active, people are looking to detoxes to try to get a quick fix because it's about to be the holidays. It's not about that. It's about healing your body, supporting your body, realizing and understand I just went through a pandemic. How did I respond to that? Is my mental health okay? Is my emotional health okay? If not, that's probably why I've gained this weight, because some people didn't change their eating habits and they still gained weight. That's because their levels of cortisol increased, which is a stress hormone. So our fight or flight senses are higher than ever, especially for us as Black people. We're getting killed for hanging out outside. We're going on a jog.
Yeah.
And then we have people asking us why we want things to change. Excuse me? So the
Yeah.
amount of mental stress that's going on internally, and some of us still have our same jobs, jobs that are not supporting, jobs that are telling us not to wear be Black Lives Matter shirts or hats or pins or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So all of that stress internally as well as externally, we may be eating less, but these waistlines, these bodies, the BMIs are growing because there's stress. Our body is trying to pad itself, trying to comfort itself with additional fat, which attracts toxicity. And instead of us looking at that holistically, what is going on with me as a whole? Let me touch all of these areas. We're thinking, oh my gosh, I gained 20 pounds. Oh, that looks good. Let me do a detox. So and so did it. Let me do that detox. It's not a detox. You're actually going to damage your body and put yourself in a worse spot. So that's been something that's been really challenging for me to see. But I can see, you know, I can look at it from a larger scale just because I understand it
Yeah.
more scientifically based where it's coming from. It is a response, it's not being proactive. And I want us to be proactive, especially about our health.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You said a lot, right? And just what you just said really shifts the mindset of what a detox is
Yeah.
about.
Yes.
And so the first question I want to ask you before you continue, because you talked about it, and I want you kind to just elaborate a little more so people really understand why detoxing is necessary, but also the realistic mindset that you should have going into a detox.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. So let's start with diet. So the word diet is not supposed to be a negative. We all think of it as a negative. But if you look it up, sorry, I have a piece of ice in my mouth. If you look
Sure.
it up, the word actually means way of life, way to life. That is what the word literally means. But the way our society has changed it is restriction, right? So each of us has a different way of life, a different way to life. So the way I see it is that if you understand what works for your individual body in regards to your diet, that is how you find your way of life, your way to life, because it's not going to be detrimental or damaging to your body, right? Instead of assimilating to other people's diets or assimilating to what somebody else did to lose their weight or gain their weight, or assimilating to what we think we should be doing, like veganism. Veganism is a big trend now. People are like, oh, I'm gonna give myself 5 years and I'll be vegan. Why? That's what I always ask people. Why? And they're like, well, what do you mean you're vegan? I understand that I'm vegan, but I'm vegan because that was my path. I'm vegan because I wanted to do what worked best for my individual body. And through process of elimination over the years, listening to God, listening to my body, listening to my blood type, listening to my ancestors, I understood, oh, veganism works best for me. But I just didn't pick out a diet and decide this is what I'm doing so I could lose weight.
Mm,
So I think that people need to understand and reframe the way they think about diet, because diet is supposed to build abundance for you, not restrict you. And
mm,
people think it restricts. And I think that's why people won't necessarily give up certain foods or allow certain foods into their diets. So that's the first part of that. And then to be honest with you, detoxes suck. They really do. So people, all these people you see in these cute little pictures and 30 days later and they're smiling, absolutely not.
mm,
Absolutely not. There are toxins in our body that are so, our liver's like about the size of a football. So it's going to be, it's right behind your stomach. Your stomach is underneath your left side of your body, underneath the left side, right under your rib cage, and it's about two hands, like two balled up hands. So a man's stomach is bigger than a woman's stomach. That's just normal, and it only holds about maybe about 4 cups of food at a time. So we think, our eyes are bigger than our stomach. It's the truth. So we think, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry and eat all this food. And you eat all this food. If you blend and churn all of that up and it's more than 4 cups, you've overeaten. And that's probably why you feel so uncomfortable. Also, we have our vagus nerve. Remember the nerve I talked about in the last video? Goes from our brain. It hits all these different areas, particularly in our digestion. So if you go into your vagus nerve, if you're stressed or if you're uncomfortable or if you're not in the presence of good people, like the Bible says, who are you breaking bread with? If you're not in the
mm,
presence of good people, or maybe you're not really focused on what you're doing, or maybe you're not actually eating to provide your body with nutrients, you can easily overeat, easily. And before
mm.
you know it, you're trying to sit back or stretch up or burp or like, what is going on here? Because you had too much food. When in fact, you were actually having an emotional response that caused you to overeat. And a lot of us aren't aware of that, which is why you want to be in the presence of people that you love and care about, even if it's just you, which is
Yeah.
why you want to sit and have conversation while you're eating, which is why you want to bless your food. That
Mm,
food is literally going into your body and creating new cellular energy in order for you to do the things you want to do in your life. It's not just about filling your stomach or shushing your hunger. It really is about fueling yourself,
mm,
regenerating yourself, nourishing yourself, replenishing yourself, and being grateful for that before you put it in your mouth. God, I thank you for the opportunity to nourish this body according to your purpose for my life,
yeah.
according to what I'm going to do when I get up from this table, according to being able to take this bite that I'm sitting here in the first place. But a lot of us don't think so deeply about that because we don't have an opportunity to, or we've just lost it. We've lost that
Yeah.
connection,
Yeah.
right? There's so many things that are going on. Fat takes the longest to fat and is it fat and sugar? Yeah, fat and sugar take the longest to process in our bodies, and they
Mm,
provide the most satiety in our body. So people are literally addicted to fat and sugar, and it's not their fault. A lot of people, it's not their fault, especially in poverty, because you
mm,
go and you can get, you can get the burger for $1. It's fat and sugar. It's going to keep these kids from crying for the next 5 or 6 hours, right? And you don't have to hear that I couldn't feed my babies. So it's so many other things, and the odds are stacked up against us because we don't know and we're not willing to do the work to get the information. But when you do a detox, it sucks. It does not feel good. So
yeah.
people think it's the same way. Sugar is 1,000 times more addictive than cocaine.
Wow.
1,000. Yes. But they will throw your butt in jail real quick, right? But then they'll offer you some sugar, right?
Wow.
1,000 times, right? So there was a study that was done, and they gave a person, they took an addict, and their response, they discussed, hey, let's get you some Coke, let's get you some Coke. And they watched how their brain lit up. And there was another person, do you want some candy? Some candy, some ice cream, cake, cookies, some soda. And it was the same centers that lit up when they
Mm,
consumed the product. The same centers, the same response, and even more of a response because it was readily available.
wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. and the way that it gets into your body and deteriorates, and the way that it so easily can permeate your intestines to get into your bloodstream, you can literally feel that type of high and addiction. And doctors will not tell you to stop. They'll just tell you to reduce your sugar. So if you just replace that word with cocaine, I want you to really think deeply about what your doctor's not telling you. They tell you to reduce it. So if your doctor says, hey, it's cool, just take it easy on your cocaine, you would be like, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yep,
If
yep.
if this, instead of saying McDonald's and Taco Bell, stop going to see, your band man so much, see him a little less, right? Right? You would be like, wait a minute now. What do you mean? I don't do that.
And that's why what you're saying is that people need to research,
They do.
because people will take time and research investments,
Yeah.
financial investments,
Yes.
but you won't take the time to research about this brilliant body, because if
Absolutely.
you're not in this body, this physical body, you can't get this physical money.
Say it. Hmm. There's no way.
So
No,
what you
research,
said was,
they'll research detoxes, right?
yeah, yeah. And
But they're not
so
thinking about actually reducing or changing the toxic levels of your body. You just want something quick.
now I want you to speak on that again, and kind of, because I feel like that's so important, right? We talked about the mindset of a detox,
Yes.
but repeat again what a detox should provide. You listed a few things,
Hmm.
but I feel like it's so important because, like you said, most people only associate detox with weight loss.
Yes. Yes. The actually weight loss is a side effect of a detox. Excuse
Mm,
me, a detox. So if your detox is being marketed to you as a weight loss supplement or weight loss product, or someone is selling you a weight loss something, anything, drink this or take these pills and put this shaper on, or in 10 days you're going to lose 20 pounds, that's not a detox.
mm,
That's not a detox. That's a business product. And
mm.
we should just think honestly about that. If that's your goal, it's none of my business. That's your business.
Yeah.
But you will damage your body, is what I'm saying. So a
Mm,
detox should provide cellular rejuvenation. It
mm,
should reduce and or eliminate toxicity in your body. You should not be restricted on amount of calories that you should be eating, because there's no such thing in detoxifying your body and then reducing the amount of nutrients that you need. And if someone's not telling you to totally eliminate processed foods, again, that's not a detox. Because
mm,
why would you start a detox and then eat processed foods? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Especially when your body's in such a vulnerable state. You're basically like, how when you have, let's say, some juice, when you get some processed juice, how when things settle down to the bottom and then there's like the clear liquid at the top? When
yeah.
you detoxify your body, you're actually shaking all of that up. So that's why it doesn't feel good. It's
Mm,
gross. You're shaking all that up and you're supposed to be pouring it out, and you're pouring more water, and you're shaking all that up, and you're pouring it out, and you're pouring more until it's clear. That's what a
mm,
detox is supposed to do. It's supposed to go in, look for toxicity, draw that toxicity out of your body,
mm,
and through any of your detox pathways, it's supposed to push it out. That's why it doesn't feel good. That's why it feels
mm,
overwhelming. That's why you're usually hugging the toilet or you're sitting on the toilet all day. That's why. That's why you start sweating more. That's why your temperature rises. That's why you have night sweats. Detoxes do not feel good. It is similar to when an alcoholic person, or someone who struggles with alcoholism, or when someone has struggled with drugs. It is the same process. It does
mm,
not feel good. So that's why when I said you see all these pictures of people with these little, they're smiling with their little tea and stuff. No, that's not a detox, because there's no smiling. It doesn't feel good. You're
mm.
grateful at the process. You're grateful to go through the process. And with the way that you feel after, it's absolutely worth it, because I've done them several times. I do detoxes often. But it is not this commercialized experience that has been shown. Sorry. Sorry, my thing is not cooperating. It's not this. Yeah, it's not this commercialized. Take a picture. Meet me back here in 30 days to let me see your progress. There will be progress. You will see a noticeable difference, but people are making it real cute. There was a picture recently that I saw, um, and she was talking about her detox and what it has done for her life. But she also, again, said, I suffer from IBS. My
Mm.
question as a health professional is, why do you still suffer from IBS if you've been detoxing for 7, 8, 9, 10 years?
What is IBS for the people that may not know what that
So
is?
IBS is irritable bowel syndrome. It means that you are your bowel lining is either damaged or destroyed,
Mm.
right? And you should be able to detoxing or healing your body. If it's truly a detox, it should have allowed you the opportunity to restore and heal your lining, especially in 10 years of detoxing. So to me, that shows that what she's providing is a laxative. She's
Mm.
giving you a laxative. So yes, it did help her lose weight. I will say that, but it helped her lose weight through malnourishing her body because she's
Mm.
not getting the nourishment that she needs to heal her body. But if she was actually detoxifying her body and building it up to where she could heal her body, she would not be suffering from IBS still,
Mm.
because she would have taken the opportunity to, yes, maybe utilize that laxative maybe at some point when needed. She would have
Mm.
utilized the laxative to clear her toxins out of her colon, hardened fecal matter, hardened poop,
Mm.
basically, that would have been out of her system. But then she would have nourished her body with all kinds of healthy, fresh foods, whole foods, nutrients, nutritional dense meals. Even if she couldn't like chew it up and build it up in her body, she should have been blending or having whole food shakes or having whole food soups or whatever it
Mm.
is that was needed over the course of those 28 days to where at the end she would be able to poop on her own, because
Mm.
she actually gave her body all, flooded her body with all these nutrients to now she healed herself to where she can start to rebuild that system into doing what it knows to do naturally.
Mm.
But in 10 years, you've been taking laxatives for 10 years and you're telling people this is a detox and it's going to heal them. And even the name of the product was like skinny tea. Like, that's not a detox. You can see
Mm.
where the goal is.
Yeah.
And
It's
you can't
just
sell someone that they're brilliant and their body is brilliant and they're perfect just the way they are and then sell a product called skinny tea. It's an
mm.
oxymoron. And it's not right. And it's disrespectful to the process.
Wow.
And it's disrespectful to our bodies. Our bodies are beautiful when they're big and our bodies are beautiful when they're small. The point is to be healthy. That's the
Mm.
goal. That's the point. We're not all intended to be the same size, but whatever size you're going to be at, you need to be at your optimal health. Because
Mm.
again, there's more than just your body, there's a purpose to deliver. So, yes, the nutritional density, cellular rejuvenation, you should not have to rely on a laxative. And like I said, you shouldn't even cost you one, because I told you about using the lemon water and the sea salt. You don't need it costs less than $1.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can do that every single day.
Mm.
And with the detox, it's not going to feel good. It's just not. You're going to feel clammy and hot and tired and exhausted, because actually digestion is the number one stressor of every single day of our lives. It
Mm.
takes the most amount of energy and it takes the most amount of stress. If we did not have to digest, we wouldn't have to sleep. That's how essential it is.
Oh wow.
If we didn't have to digest and detoxify, we would not have to sleep. And a lot of people are not aware of that.
Mm.
So sleep is not just to restore your energy, sleep is to allow your body to detoxify.
Mm.
The only way we can detoxify is for us to digest. The only way we can digest is if our body is functioning optimally.
Mm.
The only way for us to function optimally is to get fresh nutrients, nutritionally dense meals.
So now, what does a, I know there's different variations of detox, right? So we covered the mindset that you should have going into a detox.
Mhm.
We covered what a detox should produce. Now, what are some of the foods, or like you say, you're doing a detox now? Speak to the different variations And how do you find a detox that's right for you? Is it like a one size fit all, or going into a detox, should you be examining certain foods? Just speak to that whole concept
Yeah.
of foods in your detox.
So there are many different levels of detox. I would recommend that everyone start with an elimination detox. That's
Mm,
the first kind. There's a lot of free information online. I have a group that I usually do. I recently stopped it. If I can get some more people that are interested, I can start it back up, where I walk you through it hand by hand, and we'll do that for 20. Well, we do it for 30 days.
mm,
What this is going to take our main three things that irritate the gut lining. So it's going to be sugar, gluten, and what else do we take out? Sugar, gluten, and processed foods. But there was something else that I wanted to do. Sugar, gluten, and processed foods. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Sugar,
okay.
gluten, and processed foods. So what I don't want people to think is that it's going to be bland or boring. That's not it. But
Mm,
you need to retrain the way that your body responds to food. And you also need to teach your body that we're kind of getting on a new path here,
mm,
because at a point when you're so toxic in your body, in your fat, in your cells actually will begin to crave certain things because it's imbalanced your hormones. So fat,
mm,
actually excess fat, will actually cause hormonal imbalances. Those hormonal imbalances will actually begin to have cravings and cause you to crave certain foods and cause you to crave certain things, because now their goal is to live, is to
mm,
continue to live and thrive off of your body. So fat actually acts like a parasite, because it begins to request certain things and desire certain things and keep you at a certain level of toxicity so it can live. That's just
mm.
what it is. A lot of us don't think of it that way, but that's what it is. So yes, you can be larger size and still healthy, but if you're larger size and you eating cakes and cookies and pudding and McDonald's and all kinds of other stuff like that, that's something else going on. It just is.
Yeah,
And then what
yeah.
was the part of your question?
So you spoke to the elimination, and then what are some of the foods that you should consider
So
in your detox?
so any processed foods will be out. So if it's not something you can make at home, it probably shouldn't be something you're eating. Now, there are some amazing companies that make foods that have less than 5 ingredients. So that's another quick rule of thumb. If you don't
Mm,
necessarily want to commit fully to a detox, but you want to start to detoxify your lifestyle, you can do that in levels. Like I said, the basic to me is an elimination diet, and it can go all the way up to a specified fast or a specified detox for your body. So for me, as for instance, I've been vegan for 10 years, but I still detox every single month, especially if I'm starting to feel like a little bit not like myself, or I feel like my skin's not glowing as much, or maybe my tummy's a little more uncomfortable than usual, or even in
mm,
this right now with this amount of stress that's going on, I was like, I need to detoxify my body, and no, I do. And I was absolutely right, because the first day I was completely sick. And
wow.
a lot of people and a lot of health professionals are not honest about that. It feels terrible. It was
Yeah.
hard to wake up. My tummy was hurting. Yes, I was in the bathroom. I was making sure to have to wash my hair more often, because there begins to be a layer on your scalp. Your
Mm,
sebum is a little bit different, and that's the point. You're pushing toxins out of your body. Everywhere was sweating during my workout. I'm not
mm,
even a big sweater, but as soon as I turn that detox, that flip that switch of detox, oh, we're doing a detox, the body's like, all right, she's getting us together. My body trusts me to do what I'm supposed to do to support it, so it can do what it needs to do for me, right? It's a
yeah.
mutually beneficial relationship. So I knew it. As soon as I woke up, I was like, oh God, I feel heavy and it's hot. And let me go wash my hair, and let me, cleanse my skin a little bit more. Let me get this workout in. Let me get this sweat out of my system, and,
Mm,
let me go to the bathroom, and let me drink more water. Like I need to. I flip the switch of detox. It's time to detox, body. Let me help you get this done, because I know there's a little bit of extra in here. So that's why I say it's not supposed to feel good. It's supposed to feel good in here, because you know
yeah.
what you're doing, but it's not something you're going to go chase after because, oh, that's pleasurable. No, detoxes are a lot of work. It's the same type of work as to when you get your body in shape. The first couple times you're like, why am I doing this? this is hard and I'm sore and it's painful. And then you start to get in there more and you start to see differences. You start to feel better. Breathing gets a little bit easier. You can take a deep breath. You start running a little bit further. You start hitting it a little bit harder. You can get some better weights. That's exactly what happens when you detoxify your body.
Mm.
So that's why I tell people, even after 10 years of veganism, I still live in an environment where it's toxic and I still have to take cues from my body. Wait a minute, I'm not functioning as optimally as I normally do. My tummy
Mm.
feels a little bit uncomfortable, or maybe I gained a few pounds. That's another way that you can look. Why am I gaining weight and I haven't done anything differently?
Mm.
Okay, let me go back and get my checklist in. Let me check this area. Let me check my mindset. Let me check what I'm putting in my mouth. Let me check, am I sitting down a little bit longer? Am I not getting enough sleep? Oh, okay, then if everything is cool, this must be a hormonal issue. So my hormones are out of balance. And
Mm.
that's male and female. So a
Yeah.
lot of people don't understand you need to be as vigilant as with your body as you are with people that you love, that you care about. The same way we're like, you don't look so good today. But we don't do that to ourselves, right? We're just like, let me get it together. Let me make it look good. Instead of like, my skin looks a little clammy, or, last night I didn't sleep so well. Like, you really need to take the opportunity to check in with yourself. And that's how you kind of know what areas. Now, I'm trained to know what areas and what specified parts. Like, you probably need a liver detox, you probably need a pancreatic detox, you probably need this and that type. So that's a little bit different. That takes a professional, and you should find a professional for that. But you always, in my opinion, you always want to at least 4 times a year do a full body detox. So
Mm.
as the seasons change, detoxify your body.
It's like cleaning out the closet, really.
Absolutely. As the season,
Going into another
mhm.
season.
Yep, every season I would say detoxify your body and do a full body detox. And it does include, I would say, skin brushing. A lot of people don't know about skin brushing. So using that skin brush, and I did a video making sure you do those short little strokes all the way up to your heart. You are actually breaking down all of that dead cells that you see on your
Mm.
skin. I know we see skin and we say, oh, it's beautiful, looks fine. But at a cellular level, you're breaking off all of that old skin and what we absorb in our environments. You're getting that up off of your skin. Every time before you get in the shower, you want to do a skin brush. During that
Mm.
week, you want to soak in some Epsom salt. We think it's just for soreness, but it's not. It actually draws toxins out of your body. You want to make sure you get a little extra water, probably a lot of extra water, because you are going to be detoxifying. You're going to have to wash your hair a little bit more. You are going to have to wash your body a little bit more. You are going to probably experience some lymph drainage and things of that nature. You're going to sweat a little bit more when you work out, which is why you need to actually take time to look and figure out what's going on with your body. Like, we need to
Mm.
be more aware of that. So, so starting with an elimination diet would be making sure that you are not eating processed foods.
Mm.
If you are, making sure that those ingredients are as few as possible and they're actually real ingredients. So you want it to be real food, not monosodium glutamate, glutate, monitor 6, all those kind of things. You don't want to put more toxins in when you're trying to get them out.
Mm.
So you're going to want to increase your water intake. Pau de Arco tea is really, really good. Ginger is really, really good in any form, mostly raw. Raw will be best. You are going to feel a little nauseous from time to time because your stomach is going to take cues and it's going to start to kind of scrape off all that stuff that could be on the inside. Not necessarily scrape, but shed a lot of that internal lining, which is mostly mucus, because a lot of our toxicity gets trapped in our mucus and it just does not feel good when it's coming out. It doesn't feel good. You may feel like you're nauseous, so you might need to vomit it out, and you may feel like you just have to poop. Either way, those are detox pathways. You don't want that in your bloodstream. You want to allow your body to do the work that it needs to do. So those are a couple things. Aloe vera is excellent. Aloe
Mm.
vera juice or aloe vera gel. It really depends on what I guess what you can tolerate. I don't like the texture of the gel. I'll use the gel on my skin, but I like the juice maybe in my water or in my actual juice. Speaking of juices, fresh juices would be best. So make sure it's actual juice. Make sure it's no longer than 3 days old if you're going to be making juices.
Mm.
Raw organic teas, things like that, raw organic soups. Anything like that is super, super, super helpful and beneficial. And even if you're not sure about actually doing a detox, If you take one meal every single day and try to make it as pure and whole and as close to raw as you can get it, that will even assist you in helping to get your body to begin to detoxify a little bit more.
That's good. That's good
Yeah.
information. That's good information. Um, and then so now you're in the process of a detox.
Mm-hmm.
Now you said you normally do, is it 28 days for a
Yeah.
detox?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least, yeah.
Okay. Mm,
I would say that's best because it takes 28 days for your body to totally return, restore, rebuild all of its cells.
mm. So now are you including certain foods you personally
I
doing your detox?
Yes, I am. For me, a lot of fresh foods work best for me. Excuse me. I have to drink a lot of water. I have a little bowl of ice here to kind of help me with nausea.
Okay.
And then I also do a lot of essential oils. I was trying to see if I had anything close. No, I don't have anything close enough to grab. A lot of essential oils.
Okay.
And then making sure, for me, a lot of raw soups. Raw soups work really well for me because I can get my greens. And then, what else am I doing? I prefer savory flavors,
Mm,
especially in the fall. So I usually start with something savory, and then towards the evening, I go into fruits.
mm. That's good. That's good. So what have we covered so far, right? I want to kind of keep track. We talked about the goal going into a detox.
How to spot a fake one.
Hmm. And then we talked about um, the mindset. Then we talked about the results, what a detox should produce.
Yes.
And then we talked about what we just talked about now, which was the process of elimination
And a basic one.
and the basic one.
hmm
And then so what would be the next step in that detox journey now?
So after you do maybe your first detox for 28 to 30 days, you want to reassess, kind of feel what changed, what's different, how do I feel? Did I
Mm,
see a noticeable difference? Usually checking the whites of the eyes is a really good indicator.
okay.
If at the end of your detox, they're a little bit more yellow, that could be another indicator that there's a liver issue.
Mm,
Yeah. If they are not as white or as clear as you would like for them to be, then you would probably need to continue. If you're
mm.
still getting sick, nausea, after those 30 days or around the 28 to 30 day mark, you need to keep going.
Oh,
Yeah. So your body's still releasing toxicity. If you're still
that's
getting, one thing that you will notice a lot,
hmm
excuse me, is that your skin will get so clammy, really, really clammy. Like when you have a fever. You know, when you
yeah.
have a fever and then you're cold and but you put the blanket on and your skin is like clammy and sticky, that feeling, but without the fever. And some of us will get a fever. So if you're still getting that feeling, and it happens throughout the day, the temperature will kind of change and you're just like, oof, goodness gracious, and you kind of feel just like a little wet all over your body, that's usually another indicator that your body's still pushing out a lot of toxicity.
Mm,
So that we would often go to the doctor. I mean, you can if you want. They're going to tell you to stop detoxing if they're not supportive of your needs. But if you get your right doctor squad, they're going to tell you to keep going because these
mm,
are responses of the body, but they're not necessarily negative responses of the body. Your body's actually trying to get those toxins out. So it's a good thing that your body's responding. However, it doesn't feel good.
mm.
So you're going to want to take a little nap here and there. You're going to want to lay down. You're probably going to need an extra shower or two or three, depending
Yeah.
on how toxic you are. So these are things that you really need to keep in mind, and you need to be gentle with yourself about it because it's not going to feel good, but it is
Mm,
so beneficial for your body because you need to release these toxins. All of those buildup toxins in your body can cause sepsis, which is an actual toxicity in your blood that will
mm,
kill you.
mm,
They can cause sepsis of your organs. Same thing. Your organs become so compromised that they actually have to be removed, so inflamed that they have to be removed. So a lot of our medical professionals aren't really taught about detoxification. So there are two things they're not taught about, probably more than that actually. So they're not taught about nutrition. They get out of 4 years of medical school, they get maybe a week of nutrition, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. And they also get detoxification as an alternative method. And it's maybe like a paragraph or a part to a speech. And to them, when you say detoxification and elimination, they think of poop. That's it.
Wow.
So they're not going to tell you anything else. They're not going to talk to you about Epsom salt. They're not going to talk to you about essential oils. They're not going to talk to you about getting more rest. They're not going to talk to you about how to draw toxicity out of your body. They're not going to talk to you about your blood pH. They're not going to talk to you about your alkalinity in your stomach or your organs, because that's not their focus. Their focus is not alternative medicine. Their focus is Western medicine, which is where the money is. But it's not actually going to heal you.
Now, quick question, right? What would you say to people because that want to detox, but they're on tons of medication? Should they still stay on their medications? What's that process with medication and detoxing?
So the best thing to do would be under someone who understands. You need to get with someone who understands the medication that you're on. I would recommend they go with a coach or a practitioner like myself, because I can assess those medications for them so we can understand what exactly those medications are doing. Secondly, I would say if they're going to do it they're on their own, then they need to be really, really vigilant in taking notes on what's going on with their body, because their body will begin to reject the medication as it heals those different areas in the body, which is awesome. So I've seen a lot of people do it that way. My mom did it that way. Took her through detox several times. And I told her, stay on your meds until they take you off of them, because I don't want you to come off of them. And then now your body's trying to figure out how to get back whatever it was getting from that medication. So she stayed on her medication throughout the duration of the detox, and she only did 30 days with me. And then by the time she went to her doctor, he was like, well, I don't have to give you anything anymore.
Mm.
And he said, whatever you're doing, you need to keep doing it. And whatever you're doing, I need you to tell me so that I can give it to other people. So she was able to get off of all of her meds, and she was on 15 medications.
Woo!
15 bottles every single day, maybe 2 to 3 times a day.
Now, was it some of like high blood pressure,
Yep,
diabetes?
high blood
I don't know if you
pressure.
can really get into
Yeah,
what sort of
high
treatment.
blood pressure, diabetes. She had some, I think it was Prilosec, a lot of medications for depression. There were so many different medications. And a lot of people don't also know that depression actually is, it's not just a mental health disease. It's an actual, it starts in your intestines because of the vagal nerve.
Speak on that. Talk
Yeah.
about that.
So if
Talk.
you actually if you can choose, because you have to choose to do it, choose to believe and choose to do it. If you can get because of the way that our intestines work, when we have bacteria or bacterial overgrowth, it actually diminishes our ability to feel and or deal with our emotional feelings and emotional stress. That negativity, it can be candida, it can be constipation. There's so many things. And because of that vagal nerve that's directly connected, it can cause symptoms of depression. It can cause symptoms of feeling lifeless, or like you're not going to make it. And all of those dark and sad and horrible, terrible feelings, that listlessness and that feeling like you're not going to make it, all of that stuff, all of those types of feelings, all of that darkness, all of that mental health disorders are directly connected to our intestines. And there is documented, medically documented, as well as alternative medicine. So the only difference is our doctors don't tell us that. They automatically put you on a medication for depression, but they won't tell you to change your diet. They won't tell you to detoxify your intestinal organs, and they won't ask you if you're constipated, and they won't check to see if you're suffering from a candida overgrowth. Usually, it's a candida overgrowth. Yeah, so it can be something very simple.
And it's certain things that I've just never heard of. And so
Yeah.
you don't even know what questions to ask a doctor,
Right.
because it's just like if you're feeling down,
hmm
you're
And
just going to take the medicine.
you think it's isolated to mental health or emotional health, and it's really not. It's actually the functionality of your intestines, which are causing or being sent back to your mental health. Just like I said in my trauma series, mental trauma, emotional trauma can severely diminish the way that your digestive system works. And your digestive system, if it's not working appropriately, can help to cause you mental stress and emotional trauma. So they are very, very interconnected. And there have been many times that, even like in my mom's case, getting her intestines to operate optimally, getting her into additional nutritional density, making sure that she was not diminished in any of her nutritional levels, actually caused her to be able to come off of depression medications because there wasn't a hormonal imbalance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now imagine, right? Imagine if you didn't go on a journey, and I encourage people to watch the first time you were on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of chronically go through your journey.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine if you didn't go through your journey.
Yeah.
And now you're able to put your mom, and a lot of times people just talk about financial blessings. But even if she got all the money in the world,
Yeah.
she would have still been on those medications.
She would have.
But because you grabbed the wealth of health information,
Mm-hmm.
you were able to give her that exchange.
Yeah.
So now you were able to give her way more than what money could have done because you changed her way of life.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And that to me is one of the reasons why I still choose to do this. It's such a blessing to add value to someone's life. That is so important. And that was even the way I felt with myself because I was going down the same path. People think diseases run in family. They don't. Eating behaviors, eating habits run in families. So it's not about diseases. Yes, I come from a family of people who have passed away from stroke, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of these 100% preventable. I've never had any of them. And it wasn't because all of a sudden I just decided I'm not going to have them because they're still in the family, but I rejected forms of eating that were taught to me because they didn't work in my body. I listened to my body. I listened to the needs of my body. I listened to the nutritional needs of my body, not just nutritional needs, the mental health needs of my body. I can't be in this environment. I can't deal with these certain things. I don't want to talk to myself like that. I don't want to be in an environment where people talk to each other like that. And, I had to really, truly understand, listen, I love greens too, but they got to be cooked a different way now because we know more. We know better. We got to do better. I need to find out what is it exactly, because collard greens are actually supposed to, well, they're intended to help with all forms of cancer, especially breast cancer. But Black women still have a high level of breast cancer. I know they're eating some greens. So the only difference is the way you're cooking them.
We're really giving gems. Well, you're really giving gems. I'm just here to facilitate.
Thank you.
And I honestly didn't realize that an hour had passed. I honestly didn't.
Right, me neither. That's good stuff.
And what was so valuable about what we're talking about, it does a couple things, right? It challenges what we've been taught, what we see, and then it also encourages us to do better.
Yeah.
And what I love about, doing this monthly is that we're going to create together an environment to make health and wellness cool,
Yeah.
because what you do with the hip hop and so I love the quotes that you put out,
Thank you.
and it's all about embracing, because a lot of people we lost. It's a lot of people that we lost too early.
Absolutely. And if they would have done things differently.
Yeah. And what you're doing is that you're helping change the trajectory of people's family tree. Because like we were just talking about, what we're going to pick back up on, we were talking about the family tree.
Yeah.
And how people say, well, things run in the family, but you were talking about, and if you could just pick back up on demystifying how you can be proactive.
Yeah, so disease, that was a big thing for me. Diseases don't run in families. Eating habits run in families. Eating behaviors, health behaviors run in families. I cannot tell you how many times, and I'm sure many of you have felt the same way, that I was like, Mom, can you come outside and play with me? Or Dad, can you come outside and play with me? No, I'm watching TV. And
Mm.
I thought, oh, okay, that's what grown-ups do. Like, so when I became a grown-up, I'm thinking I'm supposed to stay in this house and watch this TV. But I remember just kind of feeling like, oh, okay, well, okay. But I saw other families where they would run around outside and all, all the families on the bikes, and they weren't us. So
Right.
I was kind of just like, okay, well, I don't quite understand that. And I remember, like I said, eating habits. The only reason eating for me, and I know that it was God, because I talked about it before in my story. The only reason I had to cognitively think about what I was eating is because I felt bad. It didn't feel good to me. It made me sick, and I would end up in the hospital. But imagine if I would have just continued to eat like that and it didn't cause me any problems, it didn't cause me any constipation, or it did and I just didn't say anything, or it did and I just kind of dealt with it. I would have been probably high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, overweight, obese at 18 years old? Because that was when I was like, listen, I'm not eating this stuff anymore. It doesn't make me feel good. So when I was able to make that first change for myself, it was eliminating foods that didn't make me feel good. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to fix it or resolve it. I was just willing to do whatever I needed to do to not feel so bad, not have my stomach hurt, not be constipated, not, be unable to participate in sports. It was uncomfortable. There were times where I was so sick that I could barely get out of bed, and I was just cradling and holding my stomach. And I wasn't overweight. I was really, really thin. But because the foods were so bad for me, I was malnourished because they were so bad for me. So that was the first thing I eliminated, was foods that didn't make me feel good. And it was a whole rip uproar. How dare you not eat what I cooked? Because that's a part of our culture. And that's okay, because I do understand that they worked very hard to make sure that I was taken care of and make sure I had certain foods, because those were the foods that nourished them. But I know that that part of my journey was not being able to eat those foods and being the one to say, hey, we got to pay attention here. Something's up with these foods. You guys have to be feeling what I'm feeling, or you're ignoring the signs and symptoms of your body, and that's why you're getting sick. And at the time, of course, I didn't have the language to say that.
Right.
But for me, rejecting that food, I know it was an alarm. I know it was. Because years later, and now I have lots of relatives who come to me like, oh, so you still doing that? Like, because I just had this and that and the other, and I have high blood pressure now, or I have diabetes now, or I lost all four of my grandparents to the same disease,
Wow.
high blood pressure and stroke. And the ones who were alive, I remember being so frustrated. It was one of the biggest fights that we had as a family. And I remember being so frustrated. Two of them were already gone. And I was like, don't you understand that we're all dying from the same thing? And I said we, because I didn't want anyone to feel isolated. We're all dying from the same thing. We just lost grandpa. Now it's grandma. Nobody sees this. I'm not just, and at the time, it was, well, you're just doing that because you want to be small, or because you want to remain thin. And it just wasn't about that for me. It just really didn't make any sense. It was, this is literally ripping through our family. It's not running through our family. It's ripping through our family, because nobody is saying anything. And I'm sitting here at this table with you guys, and I love you. And I don't understand why nobody's like, wait a minute, let me put this away. Or, oh yeah, I got the same as you got. Like, we're in a club. Like, that, it just didn't sit well with me. I had aunties like, oh girl, I left my metformin at home. Oh, I got some, nobody wants to be in that club. And I was sitting there like, guys, like, well, all you eat is lettuce. No, that's not all I eat. And that's not what this is about. Like, it was really a difficult conversation to have, but I had become so frustrated with losing people that I loved and adored. Like, I don't want y'all switching metformin. I don't want neither one of y'all on it. Can we please understand that the only reason you have to take that is because of what we're doing right now? What's on the plate? What's on the table? Can we adjust the recipes at the least? I'm not saying take it away, but can we think differently about this? You don't want to be on metformin for the rest of your life. Nobody wants to be on any medication for the rest of their lives. I really, truly believe that. Nobody does.
And you know what? It's like nobody does. but it's like those family members have come to grips.
Yes.
They've accepted the fate that
Yeah.
shouldn't be.
Yes. Yeah. And it made me sad because, again, I was the little girl. I was the first grandchild. So I'm looking at all of them like, I wanted to be like you. I want to be like you. I want you to be here with me as I'm an adult and I'm working through all this stuff. I don't want something as simplistic as a plate of food, or us not having enough knowledge to understand nutritional density, or nutrition and food are two different things. Like, I want you to see this. I want you to get it. I want you to be here with me. Like, I want to help you understand it, or I want to find someone that can help you understand it, because I want you to be here with me. I want you to be here as long as you possibly can with me. And we lost two people with the same exact thing, and it was 100% preventable. How come nobody's outraged? That was
Yeah.
frustrating for me. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really frustrating for me. And like I said, the only reason that I believe it was different for me, and through God's plan, was because those foods made me so sick that I was in the hospital.
Mm.
Because those choices made me so sick I was in the hospital. So there was a clear, clean cut line for me to say, when I eat this, I feel like this.
Mm.
And it was such a sensitive subject for me because it happened so quickly. Otherwise, I would have been all those decades and years and years and years, and just thought, oh, like you said, this is just my fate. It runs in the family. When the
You
truth
would
was,
definitely
the,
meditate.
the behaviors ran in the family. The eating behaviors ran in the family. The eating choices ran in the family. There was no discussion of health. We got to talk, but we didn't get to talk about health and nutrition. We got to talk about how we're supposed to behave when we go to the store, but nobody told me what exactly I need to go to the store and purchase to maximize my health and wellness, which was much more important.
You know what? Now talk to the people about, because we're going to wrap it all up and then, but talk to the people about your services, right? And how, because we talked about detox and the myths and everything. So specifically talk about how your services and what products you have to assist, because this detoxing journey, you need a support system.
You
You
absolutely do.
need a support system. So let the people know what you offer and how you can be an assistance to people that are going to listen to this after it's recorded.
Awesome. So I am a functional nutrition and wellness practitioner. So I help you to identify what your body is requesting from you based upon the symptoms that you may be dealing with, or diseases or disorders that you may be dealing with. For instance, I'll give you an example of mine. So I always suffered from a lot of candida. Candida is a bacterial overgrowth of your small and large intestine. It can also travel through your stomach, and if it gets out of hand, it can get into your bloodstream. This is just always called yeast. You just have overgrowth of yeast in your body.
Mm.
So people act like it's really not that big a deal. But if you do the research, which I did, which is how I understood, if you have a chronic overgrowth of yeast, it continues on for years and years and years, it can actually show up on your skin. It can cause autoimmune diseases, and it can deteriorate your organs. But that was never explained to me. So they would give me, an antibiotic, which actually would kill all of the bacteria in my body, which again put me at a higher susceptibility for more pathogens now. So now I don't have candida anymore, but now I can get everything else, everything, anything, anything could kill me, but nobody would tell you that. So nobody taught me about probiotics. Nobody taught me about nutritional density. Nobody taught me about how to reinoculate my intestines. Nobody taught me how my intestines worked. Nobody taught me where nutrients came from or what they were supposed to do. So that was why dealing with those experiences, why I created One Brilliant Body, Functional Nutrition and Wellness. So what I do is I teach you how to decipher the symptoms that your body is dealing with and help you to create a nutritional plan specifically designed and customized for your needs. I teach you how to detoxify in a safe manner. I help you to reframe and realign and heal your body from traumatic and trauma experiences, both physically, mental, emotionally, and spiritually, and to create a basis or a baseline of food choices, nutritional choices that align with your core values by helping you identify what your core values are. So what I feel like would be maximized instead of people choosing certain diets and thinking that they have to stick to them. I want to first help you identify your core values. What is important to you? What is important for you to your life? Do you want to travel? Do you have a high level of integrity? Do you have a high level of freedom that you want to adhere to? Do you have a high level of nutritional density that you're trying to get? Do you want to just wake up in the morning and not have brain fog? Or do you want to wake up in the morning and not have a headache? Do you want to know what it feels like to run again or jog again? Those are all goals, and you have a core value that aligns with them. Do you want the opportunity to deliver your gift? Do you know that you have that next invention that's going to help me? And you know it's in there, you just can't get it out because you can't get out of bed. Those types of things. So I want you to align whatever your core values is to match your life to measure up to that. And then I want you to be able to choose foods and choose nutrition on that plate to help you maximize your body, heal your body, strengthen your body so that you're here to live the life of abundance that you deserve. So learning and understanding truly that your body is brilliant. And although things don't always feel brilliant, there is a conversation that's constantly going on. Too many calories, not enough nutrition. I have a low, tolerance for that. Or same thing with me. Animal products don't work so well in your body. I'm not getting any nutrition from that. Please make sure you increase your essential oils. Do you know what essential oils are? So just truly understanding that this experience that you're having in your body is to maximize your life, to maximize your living, and help you and give you the opportunity to do that in a manner that respects the life and the gift that you are. Because I believe a lot of people are just trying to sell a product. I do have products for all price points, from free all the way up to one-on-one coaching with me. So it really just depends upon your individual needs. I love hip hop. It was holistic and healing for me. So all of my products are named after hip hop songs. The quotes that I give you are from the greatest and wonderful hip hop songs. So I really want you to find something that works for you. And that's something that is unique to me. So I'm sharing my healing journey with you. I'm sharing how, when I heard about Tupac talk about living in the hood, and I was living down the streets where I was hearing gunshots from, and I knew things would get better. I was sharing those moments with you, sharing those experiences with you. And then also when I was kind of trying to learn what goes on in my body, and I'm listening to the roots, and they're talking about certain foods, and they're actually talking about, eating roots and things of that nature. And I was like, wait, what are they talking about? And for me as a little girl and as a teen, I'm thinking like, okay, well, they changed the way they ate. Where did they get that information from? And I'm listening to that growth and that knowledge as they learn more about their bodies. And it just connected so much for me. And so that's what One Brilliant Body is.
You know what? I appreciate you coming on tonight. I'm really excited about next month already.
Yes. Right. It's exciting every month.
And we'll discuss what the topic will be. We'll figure that part out. That's the easy part, right? Because you're so knowledgeable. But thanks again for coming on the show. I'll put this together, into one message, and get it out. But thanks again. Get some rest.
Thank you. Yeah, super excited. I can't hear you. Oh, go ahead.
You're on California time, so I think
yes.
3 hours.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's 7:21. I'm good. But it's just mostly, the detox just doing its thing, and which is great because I want people to see and feel and know the authenticity of a detox. So I'm going through the same thing. I go through the same thing when I do it. And even when I have my students and my one-on-one students, I want to be perfectly transparent about that. You need to understand that you have support, and you need to know the difference between a detox and a product, a business product that's just being sold. And again, if you have the information, you're going to make a better decision. You guys can get on my my Major Key Wellness community. Just text WELLTH, WELLTH, to 909-200-4037. I constantly post questions. I provide tips and strategies, recipes, share a little bit of my journey. So I'm always there to really help. So I'm kind of like your self-wealth guru in your pocket. But I really just want us all to just take ourselves more seriously, take our wealth and health, health and wellness more seriously, and be an active partner in that. Like, it really does. I just really feel, especially now, that we have to take our health and wealth more seriously. We really, really do. It really needs to be a actual wealth, something that we choose to invest in and we choose to cultivate and we choose to share. And I really truly believe that it's just not about, WELTH, but it's WELLTH. Like, you really, that's the only way you need the wealth to get to the wealth. That's the only way. There's no way. There's no other way. Like, if you're not here and you're not healthy, if you're sick in a hospital bed, but you made $1 billion, you're sick in a hospital bed. You're not able to deliver your gift, and you're not able to enjoy, what you've done on this earth. So I know for sure that, my relatives, the ones that have gone, the ones that are suffering, I know for sure that they would have rather understood what they were doing to their body and had an opportunity to resolve or, heal themselves. I know that they would have.
Yeah. So, man, I can't wait to get this out. So I'm gonna get some rest. You stay blessed.
Yeah.
And then we'll be talking about next month's session.
All right, well, thank you so much for having me again.
All right. Good night. Be blessed.
Yes. Thank y'all for watching. Bye.
Yeah.